Hi, welcome to the Easy Gourmet. I'm your chef today, Michael Mersil. We've got a great show today, so we're doing something a little bit different, something new at the Speakeasy. We've got fresh walleye, and that's something that nobody else has in this area. We actually have, it's never frozen, it comes in fresh a couple times a week for us. And I know how big walleye is in this area. As a matter of fact, I used to catch walleye on Lake 7 when I was growing up. That's one of the, I guess, best fish around here. Even better than northern. Huh? But they're making a comeback, but there's a lot more bones in it. I want to introduce my guest today.
I'm Scott Sonstegard. I'm the owner of Becker Pet and Garden right in downtown Detroit Lakes.
Love it, Scott. I go shop there. We get our food there all the time. In fact, I need some more.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
I didn't know you were coming.
I could have brought it with me.
I know.
And I'm Chris Thorson. I'm a civil engineer over at Altig Engineers.
Great.
I'm Dave Awney with TV3 here in town.
Richard Liebelt, sales manager out of Seaberg Power Sports.
Great. All good places to check out here in Detroit Lakes. So you know what? Before we got going here, we started talking about something really interesting, our government. I know that's probably something that should never be talked to on this show, but you know what? I'm going to talk about it today. It all began in 2007 when gas prices took a huge hike, and this is why everything is costing the American people so much more money. And I wish to God that there's a way to get those prices down, because you're paying $4 a pound for hamburger now versus $2 back in the day. You know, and that's why when you go out to eat, all the prices are much more expensive. And when you book a party, they're more expensive. It's something that we aren't doing. And everyone is making more money in those kinds of fields except for the American people. And the American people are still making the same amount of money as they were back in those days.
Hear, hear.
Huh? Guys, you got anything to say about that? I got to use up some time here.
Yep.
Huh?
I agree.
Are they
the power sports business.
Yeah, are they costing more money? Some of the things there.
The power sports, the jet skis, everything is, but now I got to fill them full of gas again. So
yeah.
I mean, that's really, we're taking a hit because of that too.
Absolutely, people can't afford, and they can't afford some of those luxuries either.
Not anymore.
You know, back in the day with a golf course, you know, I mean, that was one of the things. You know, that was a luxury sport. So memberships are going down all over the nation in that. And they're not spending as much money when they go out there because we're not making any more money. And we can't make any more money because all of these big businesses or businesses like ourselves can't pay anymore because the cost of living is so high.
And the purpose of this program is to solve the world's problems
It
today.
is, absolutely,
right?
Dave.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
I can tell you one thing. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know if you don't have the money, you don't spend it. Okay, America? That's the thing. And I'm talking to the government here. If you don't have the money, don't spend it. Well, let's get back to the food. We'll touch more on that. And I heard something about cigarettes too. Can you believe how expensive those are? Not that I smoke or anything.
That really worked out well for Minnesota, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Mike, I just brought that walleye in I caught this morning, so let's cook her up.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I've got some fresh walleye here sitting on ice because I want it to stay as fresh as possible. And if you do have fresh walleye and you don't want to cook it right away, the best thing to do is keep it on like a perforated pan and then ice on top of it so that the ice just melts over and it's not sitting in its own ice juices, you know, so that way it's going to always stay the freshest it possibly can. But I have a nice 8 to 10 ounce walleye here. And it's just amazing the difference when it's never been frozen. I've got just a little fresh wine that I'm going to pour over it.
What am I using for a wine here, Mike?
Oh, just some Chardonnay.
Okay.
Cheap. It can be because
White
you're cooking
red,
with.
does it
Yeah.
matter?
Oh, white.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever you're cooking with seafood, it's usually going to be white. And then I'm drizzling a little butter over it.
Now, is this something that you've just recently added to your menu?
Nope, we've had walleye forever, and we use the same walleye that everybody else uses in town. I mean, that's
But
the
it's fresh.
misconception sometimes. No, ours is fresh, theirs is not. Everyone gets their walleye in frozen. It actually takes some ingenuity to be able to keep fresh walleye on the menu. You know, that's why a lot of people do frozen. But you know what? I keep watching these shows, you know, to learn from, you know, and maybe help my show out a little bit, you know, and they always talk about fresh. And that's the one thing that Speakeasy does. I mean, all of their dressings, everything that we do there is homemade, and it's just such a difference than a lot of places. Now you can squeeze a little lemon juice on here too if you like. It's just kind of a matter of taste, but I have some Old Bay seasoning that I put on there as well. And then, believe it or not, we can cook some asparagus with this too. And the thing about asparagus, you can see the root on the bottom of it. You want to get rid of that, and you just snap it right off.
Michael, is this an average portion size?
Yes.
For
Yep. Yep. We usually do, well, for the walleye, this is exactly what we serve, except for our walleye sandwiches, which is probably one of our #1 sellers at the Speakeasy. And you can just put a little of the asparagus right on there as well, and I'll drizzle a little butter, and you can just bake that off right with the walleye because it's done about the same time. Just a little salt and pepper on there. And we'll put this in an oven at 425. I'll show you this, how all this turns out right after these messages. Welcome back to the Easy Gourmet. I just brought the walleye out of the oven, and it's nice and flaky and beautiful. Key when cooking walleye, don't overcook it. What temperature would you think you would have to cook walleye at? Anybody?
I have no idea.
425.
No, I mean, like if you were to probe the fish, how hot would you like it to be?
Around 140?
Nope.
I'd say about 160.
Nope.
A little warmer?
Nope.
$1.25.
$1.25 is the closest, but 130 is about what you want. And any seafood too.
You're pretty close.
Okay? If you overcook fish or seafood or anything, what does it get?
Dry.
Dry, tough, tasteless. Yeah, I mean, even when you cook salmon, and you get fresh salmon and fresh tuna, tuna especially, you can cook it to rare. And you know, it's a misconception that you have to cook fish way more than you need to cook it. That's the truth. When you want good fish, you want to cook it no more than $1.30.
We just want to make sure that it's done.
Well,
yes, we're just reared like that.
You got to understand, you know, when you are processing fish, the key when they clean it, and these places that do it, they're professionals. When you get like the intestines, I know this maybe sounds a little more gross or whatever, or you know some of the other fluids on the fish, they don't, number one. But if you do, it's something that can be washed off and not soak into the meat. When you do hamburger and you have the E. coli and some of those things, it's being ground up into the meat. That's the difference. When you have a steak, you don't have those issues. That's why you can do a steak different temperatures. When you have a whole fillet, that's what makes it different. Typically, you know, and then if it is on the outside and you cook it, the first thing that's going to get cooked is the fish. So that's the outside of it. So you're going to kill that. So that's why it's not as big of a deal. And that's why 130 degrees for walleye is a nice temperature.
Unless we have sushi.
Sushi, well, sushi is a whole different thing. And you know what? When you buy sushi, it's a sushi grade. Okay? You can't just go and get a fish and raw fish and start cutting it up. There's actual fish design. It's called a sushi grade, designed for sushi. Have you had sushi?
I haven't.
Not often.
Dave?
Not often.
Yes. Scott?
I have not.
Okay. It's actually really good. Really good, especially when you put the fresh ginger and some of the other things in it. Well, anyway, we're going to plate this up for you. I've got some garlic mashed potatoes. And we've got the asparagus, which we're just going to lean up against it. And then we have our fresh walleye, which we're going to put right here. And then we need to garnish it with a little lemon.
And asparagus just sounds healthy.
We love using asparagus. All right, isn't that beautiful?
Beautiful.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
So, and then I just like to serve it with a little drawn butter, a little butter on it. You know, some people like tartar sauce, but I think that this is what works the best. Okay, so what? Should we go back to that government for a second? Do you think that if maybe they could just get some real people in there instead of these really educated lawyers and people that go to Harvard and all these other places, you know, maybe some more street smarts people that we could fix everything? I think we could.
I think Jesse did a great job for the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, he did.
I have to concur with you there.
He got the license tabs on the trailers there.
Yeah.
Rick, remember the tabs for trailers? That was his deal.
But then again,
The lifetime.
closer to real.
He got a little hell one day when he was sitting on the steps of the Capitol, and a lady comes up there, and she starts harassing him, saying, you know, why are you going to cut all my benefits and all my unemployment and this and that? And he looks at her and he says, get a job. And frankly, if everybody did get more jobs, there would be more taxes, and we wouldn't be in this predicament that we are in. You know, I hate to say it, and I know there's some people that truly deserve it, and there definitely is some needs for some of those benefits, absolutely. But then there's some people that milk it and take advantage of the system, and that's unfortunate because those are people that are hurting our economy.
Also, Mike, I guess on the other end of it, if the politicians had term limits, they wouldn't be so beholden to others when they were in office. They probably would do some of those things. But right now, they're worried more about getting reelected than they are about doing what's best for the country.
They spend more time about that than actually helping us out.
So that would be a big change. If we could make a change like that, I think we'd find better legislation in our government.
Agreeable. I really wish that they were really for the people and by the people and not for themselves. Now I'm getting the finger from my camera girl here.
I bet that fish is good and warm.
Yeah.
All right.
So what do you want to do? Just take a
I'm going to
piece
hand it to you, Scott. You guys just take a little piece, and I got a little butter for you.
All right.
Okay. And thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next time on the Easy Gourmet.